This video is made for adult collectors because the algorithm, I guess. Red boy. So, Legacy was kind of a weird line, in my opinion, at least, because it's like it came after the whole War for Cybertron trilogy thing, and well, the basic idea was that it was like to bring in all these characters from like all the different parts of like the Transformer media. So you got like animated, Armada, not really Energon because nobody cares about Energon, Cybertron most of the time, and then well still G1 and a little bit of Beast Wars, but it feels like Beast Wars has been kind of like phased out of it a bit, which is kind of a shame because I would love for them to like reissue like the Kingdom Optimus Primal because I'd love to have that figure in my collection. But we're not getting into that today because one weird thing about that is how they do redecos and the exclusive stuff they added that just to troll the fans. What am I talking about exactly? It pretty much, well, what I'm talking about is it concerns today's review, which is review for Legacy Evolution Powerlinx Hotshot. So yeah, let's get into it. So with this guy, he's a redeco of like a Hotshot they already did before in the line. And well, the weird thing about him is that man, I actually hurt it a bit. Ugh. Sorry about that. There's one weird thing about him, it's just like the jankness of him. Like at the top here, it's like okay, I guess, but when you get to the bottom, why? Because just why is it like that? Because I don't understand why it had to be like this. It's just, I don't know why. It's annoying in my opinion. It doesn't stop this figure from being good though, but it's just annoying really. Like, I don't know, it's just annoying with like the jankness of it. I don't like it that much, and especially like the parts here, the back, like the windshield parts here, these things like to pop off too much like that, and I have a feeling we're gonna see that a lot once we get into the transformation, because yeah, they do like to pop off most of the time. But yeah, besides that, he actually is pretty good really. Like this is a really nice deco, like redeco of like the original toy. You know, I like this guy. I like him a lot. But one thing that makes this guy like exclusive and like I mentioned, kind of like a troll to the fans, he, unlike most of the other Armada figures that were included in line, he actually comes with a minicon. This is Jolt, his minicon he had in the Armada cartoon and with the original toy. The thing with minicons though, if you don't know, is that in the show they were basically like the whole focus of it, kind of like a whole Pokemon thing, like gotta catch them all, you know? And well, basically the thing about minicons is that they power up the Transformers they're paid with, like unlock extra abilities they have. With Hotshot here, I'm gonna show you. So first off, flipping to the back here, you notice this thing pretty out of place. There's a reason why. So you want to flip this up, put it at the top, and then just flip this around. So now you have a bazooka, and you can also flip this down either one. Yay! But there's a problem with this. I will get into that later. I forgot what I was gonna say. But right now, let's focus on Jolt first, so we can get back to him. Now, Jolt here is strange in a way. I don't know why it is the case, but he's strange, but also really fun to mess around with and such. He's like the Micromasters that were included in the War for Cybertron line, and it's a real shame that they didn't think about like retooling some of those guys to be like the minicons for their Armada figures, because that would have been a pretty big like opportunity for them, but they kind of missed out on that. So that sucks. But hey, Jolt is an example of what we may never have, which is sad. Anyways, Jolt here is a pretty fun figure. There's like, well, there's no movement in the head whatsoever. Besides that, he's very posable. So let's get into the posability of him real quick. So first off, legs can go out that far. They can go back that far. They're on a bulge, so there's a lot of movement to them. Knees bend about that far, mostly for transformation. Your arms here, as you can see that well, can do a 360. Arms can bend to about that far. And yeah, that's basically it. There's no movement at all in the head, and well, these can spin, obviously. I mean, he's fun in a way. He is fun. So, besides all that, let's get into the transformation real quick so we can get back to Hotshot. So, first off, you're gonna want to plug those in, then collapse those into the legs, and well, you're gonna want to flip this up. I apologize in advance if you can't see this all too clearly, and just move these into there so they can tap in. There's a mushroom peg here that you could wait, I forgot what I was gonna say again. Jeez, I'm bad at this. Now you can collapse the legs and fold them up, and then Apache helicopter. At least I think it's an Apache. I don't know, man. I don't know military vehicles, but it looks like an Apache to me, really. If you know what kind of vehicle mode he's supposed to be, let me know in the comments below, because I honestly don't know. And I feel like I'm just gonna be like, actually. So, anyways, yeah. Besides that, let's move out of the way and move back to Hotshot. And like I said before, there's kind of an issue with him. So, the way in the cartoon this worked is that Jolt here would plug into Hotshot's back, and that would flip up. So with this, well, it really can't plug in all that well. Like, it can't plug in at all, which is stupid, in my opinion. It's really stupid how it can't plug in. There's like a port in the back there, but it just can't plug in. Why? Just why? But like on the official bongs are for the back, he's supposed to like be like a gun for Hotshot to hold. Like, what? How is this supposed to be a gun? Like, I don't know why. But that's something that was on the box art in the back. I don't know why that's the case. Get off. Yeah, that's kind of dumb. Honestly, just the fact that he can't even plug it that well into the Hotshot's back. But, yeah. That was Jolt, I guess. But now let's talk about the accessories. I mean, I guess you want to count Jolt as an accessory. I guess you can, but I'm not really going to count that as an accessory. But yeah, let's move on to his accessories. So first off, he comes with 3 blasters. The main one is this, which becomes his engine and vehicle mode, which is pretty fun, I gotta say. It plugs into his hand like that. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I like it a lot. Pretty fun, I gotta say. But what makes this guy like exclusive is that he comes with 2 big guns that are accurate to the cartoon for like 1 episode, which is sick. I like how when HASBRO just includes cool stuff like this. These scenes are really cool. I like them a lot. They're big and chunky, and they could probably work well with any kind of G2 character that you have in your collection. Luckily for me, I have a couple in my collection, which I don't really want to get into that. It's a long story. Anyways, yeah. Another thing that makes him an exclusive is that he actually comes with blast effects, which was a thing in the War for Cybertron line, but as far as I could tell, the only way to get these was through the... Jeez, that's really gotta stop. It was like I was trying to say, the only way to get these things was like through like the Micro Masters, like I mentioned before, or Micro Battle Masters, that they were called. I don't know why that's confusing. But yeah, the only way to get these was like through the Micro Masters, like I mentioned, but also through like commander figures like Jetfire and Skylinks, who have blast effects, and then, well, I guess also with Titan figures like Omega Supreme. So it's kind of like the only way to get blast effects nowadays was like through commander class figures, which is stupid because I really would love to see Hasbro bring back the blast effects. I mean, they do, but like I mentioned, with only like the commander and Titan class figures, which sucks. I mean, the most notable out of all of them that have the blast effects is like the Age of the Prime Star Convoy, which I really want to get if I can find him a gun on Amazon, because as far as I can tell, he's like about to run out, and I'm broke, which sucks. I need money, man. Anyways, besides that, the blast effects are really cool. They are in 3 separate pieces, so you can pull them apart and you can use them for anything else, really. So the way these work, they can actually get to a gun, sometimes with these little knobs, and sometimes with a hole in them that you can stick it in. If you are thinking what I think you're thinking, you are very dirty minded. These could plug in like that, and they actually hold pretty well. So that's pretty good. That's pretty cool. You can also do it with the rest of the blast effects. So you can have it like that, then like that. But the thing I found is that when you plug them all together on this, it doesn't really plug in all that well because of like the weight. So if you can see all that well, stick that in and then, yep, perfect. And anyways, getting back to Hotshot here, with the bazooka thing he has here, you can actually plug this into there and you have a kabloosh. That's fun. That's really fun. I like that. I'm just gonna quickly try to get him back to normal. Flip this back up and go back over there. He comes with 2 blast effects. Not I have to mention that before I forget. He comes with 2 of them, and well, these can also stick onto the guns, just like this. And they do stick on because the bag there, if you could see that clearly, is longer than the other blaster. Same for the other one too. So yeah, fun. So anyways, yeah, those are the accessories he comes with, and yeah, I guess that's it for the weapons and accessories, I guess. So let's move on to transformation. Okay, getting into transformation, it's gonna be quick and simple. So first off, you're gonna want to pull these up. They do just tab into the torso here. You're gonna want to pull this out next, stick the head back in, and then clip that back into place. It does clip in, trust me. And with the arms here, you're gonna want to rotate these like 180, I think, like to that position right there. And then for the back, you're gonna want to flip this up to about here, if I can get it. There we go. And then these can just slide into there. Oh, willy-nilly. Nice. I like that. Got a little spoiler. Now for the legs. This is gonna be fun to do on camera. I say that very sarcastically, you could not tell. So yeah, with the windshield here, you're gonna wanna, first off, you're gonna wanna flip these out. Trust me, that'd be important to do that now instead of later. And well, that worked out smoothly for me, surprisingly. And now with the feet here, you're gonna flip those in. And flip those in. Then you're gonna wanna flip this around. And yeah, that. Then you're gonna wanna try to, no wait, no, not yet. Don't tap those into there. Yeah, ignore what I said there, I am an idiot. Yeah, I also forgot to flip that out. It's sometimes I forget to do that. Now, you're gonna wanna try to collapse these in, if I could do that. Kinda got it. It's so hard to do on camera. Get that. Try to tap these in, if I can. There we go. Now get to the top. Get that all situated. If I can even do that. And yeah, just squish that all together. I don't know how well you could have seen that. I've been focused on the figure. Anyways, you can flip these in, and then they do tap into the arms like I had them situated. And then tap these in, and yeah, vehicle mode. Oh yeah, before I wrap this up, take the engine block back and stick it back in. Fun. Very, very fun. That's cool. Cool. Now, getting into vehicle mode here, it's very simple. It's very cool. I like this a lot. A very hot rod-esque deco. And yes, I am kind of referring to the car, but also referring to the Transformers character, Hot Rod, with the same name. So, yeah. This is a cool deco. I like this a lot. It's very simple and fun. I like this, especially with like the little blaster fronts there that you can still stick these on, but with this whole set here, like I mentioned, they just don't really tap in on that one. But if you do just remove these, you just stick them in there, and then let's see if I can get that on camera without fumbling around. Stay in there. Stick in there. There we go. Perfect. Are you kidding me right now? Well, you seen that, so you know. Anyways, yeah, the vehicle mode, it's simple, it's nice. But there also is this thing in the back I want to point out. Because with the original Armada toys, there weren't any 5mm ports that we have nowadays. They had these little things that you can actually stick the MINICONs on. And how this works is that, I'm going to show you, this, you just take Jolt here, you flip into that position. Very nice. Then you just, there's this hole right here that you could just tap this into. And yeah, it works like that. Simple as that, and it's fun, and it's also accurate to the cartoon. So this is the thing that did happen in the cartoon, which is fun. Now, if only he tapped in robot mode, that would have been more fun. But he doesn't, which sucks. But besides that, it's a fun little inclusion. I like that, and it also could probably work with the other Armada MINICONs, like the original Armada MINICONs, but I don't have any of them because I just don't, so I wouldn't really know, but I would assume so because that's like the same, and I think it's, but yeah, that's basically that. But also with the weapons here, you can tab these into the sides here, and you can have like a bit of a heavily armored look. You can do that, but you can also take Jolt back here if you want. Flip this back and just squish that in there, and yeah, you're gonna have that look, which is cool. And yeah, that's cool. I like this a lot. So yeah, Hotshot here is a perfectly good example of something we may never get again. Although we kind of did with a new release of like another Armada redeco, which is Armada Optimus Prime redecoed and kind of retooled into Nemesis Prime, which if I can find an image of it, I'll show it right here in editing. So there you go. Anyways, yeah. Hot Rod here, why did I call him Hot Rod? Hotshot here, yeah, he's a very fun figure, especially like this. I find myself just flip this, it's really fun. I like that, it's a lot. So anyways, yeah, if you can find this guy on like the aftermarket, I highly recommend getting him, mostly because of the blasters, but yeah, he's a fun figure to have. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, that was my review for Legacy Evolution, Powerlinx Hotshot, and Jolt. So subscribe to the channel if you're new, like the video if you enjoyed, comment down below what you think about this figure, and well, follow me on Instagram, and well, yeah, I'll see you all next time. This has been Mr. Donut. I'll see you all later.